Welcome to Faith and Finance Friday with Gerald W. Parker and MWR Kingdom Builders. My name is Brand Master Martina Britt-Yelverton, and I serve as your program director for this financial stewardship live stream. Please take the next 30 seconds to send those last-minute texts to others in your community or congregation and invite them to this link, friday.mwrkingdombuilders.com. The link is available in the comments. Just click, copy, and paste to invite. Also, be sure to like this stream and ensure that you select the bell so that you can get notifications each and every Friday when we go live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, you have a premier opportunity to gain access to this system being discussed. So trust me, you want to be a part of this now and get a sense of urgency to position your community to take back their rightful place. We kicked off this quarter with our MWR 2022 Year of Transformation event. And guess what? You still have an opportunity to take advantage and be grandfathered into this Kingdom Builders movement. So stick and stay and don't delay and get excited or stay broke forever. Use this last 10 seconds to share the stream and invite others to hear why now is the time to help God's people take back their rightful place.
Hey guys, this is Brian House, CEO and co-founder of MWR Financial, and I just wanted to share with you what's happened this weekend at our 2022 transformation event here in Atlanta, Georgia. I can tell you we had hundreds of excited people here that are already involved in our company. They got to see some amazing enhancements to all of our services, to our compensation plan, and literally about 50% of the room, because of the enhancements we made, are making more money just by showing up to this event. All right. And so are all the members that didn't get to participate in this event. I can tell you, if you missed it, if you're involved with MWR Financial, you don't want to miss the next one, because I promise you this, Transformation 2022 isn't just an event, it's a year-long event, meaning that we're going to continue to get better all through 2022 and beyond. This is just the beginning. So, hey, if you missed any of this, definitely catch us when we get back home. We're going to be doing online stuff that's going to roll it out to everybody that wasn't able to be here. But I am so excited for every single one of you that are participating in the company and what your future looks like. Thanks, guys.
All right. Welcome, everybody, and happy Friday night. So glad and thankful to be here with you all. Brother Gerald is taking some time away tonight, so Pastor David Schmall here with you on a Friday night, and I am so blessed to be here. And as we always do, I'd like to open up tonight in prayer before we begin. Father God, so thankful that you've allowed us to be here tonight in your presence, in fellowship, Lord, as we share this message that you pressed upon us. We ask that you be with Brother Gerald as he takes some time away with his family. Be with each and every person, Lord, who's here listening tonight. That you open their hearts, their minds, and their ears to hear the message that you provided us to share. Be with those who can't make it, Lord, but will watch the replay. Send your spirit down upon each and every one of us and our families, Lord, as we continue through the weekend and what you have in store for us. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. So excited to be here with each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I greatly appreciate it. I know that time is precious and we don't have a lot of it. So I want to jump right in and get started and share a really important and timely message with you guys. So let's take a look at what we've got for you tonight. Faith and Finance. Normally we meet here on Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So please, if you want people to join you, share the link that you see at the bottom of the slide there, friday.mwrkingdombuilders.com. Blast it out across social media, send text messages, whoever you think needs to hear this message tonight. They can also catch it on the replay as well. Tonight, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation about why we're here. We're going to have a conversation about our partnership with MWR Financial. And we're going to talk about the benefits of what we're going to share for you as a leader in the kingdom, as a pastor, as a minister, as a church leader, for your members in the body, and for the church as a whole. And we're going to talk about a complete financial makeover, but not just one that you might have heard about before, but one that's according to his word. Because see, it's very important that we continue to apply biblical principalities in our life. And what you're about to see tonight is all based and rooted in biblical principalities, all based and rooted in his word. Deuteronomy 8:18 tells us that, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. And Hosea 4:6 tells us that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And we don't want that to be the case. We want to make sure that people are not destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and that you have the knowledge presented to you to be able to make informed decisions, especially when it comes to what we're going to share with you tonight and the importance it brings to you, your members, and your church. So why are we here? Well, we're here to solve a problem. See, with Kingdom Builders, we know that currently today, people are struggling. Marriages are failing. Families are drifting apart. The economy is tanking. Tithing is at an all-time low. And many are barely surviving and getting by. If you turn on the news or you catch anything that flashes across your phone in notifications, you see the headlines of what's going on. The economy is definitely one of the worst it's ever been. Families are being impacted daily by what is going on. Marriages are struggling and failing, and people are having a hard time making really difficult decisions. Do I put gas in the tank today? Do I put food on the table? Do I pay this bill? And that impacts how we survive on a day-to-day basis. God's people need a solution, and we have a complete financial makeover to help bring his people out of where we are and provide a very timely and impactful solution. At Kingdom Builders, we have a mission. And as Brother Parker likes to say, that mission is to bring financial mastery to the body of Christ. It's one of those conversations that you don't often have inside of the body. Oftentimes, as church leaders, as pastors, ministers, we don't have a problem asking people for money, for tithes and offerings, for building funds, for special events, whatever the case may be. But we don't have conversations about financial mastery and what that really means and how that can impact the individuals and families that we serve inside of our ministries. So we want to help the everyday person, particularly God's people, God-fearing people, understand that by applying biblical principles that are already set forth in his word, will allow them to experience the promise that he's made, the promise of abundance. He's promised us that we can live in abundance, and we want to be able to help you do that. So let's talk about the partnership with MWR Financial. You know, this gentleman here, Mr. Brian House, is truly a remarkable man. I had the pleasure of meeting him for the first time just a few years ago, and we talked by phone. We were introduced by a very dear friend of ours, and he put me on the phone with Mr. House, and the conversation we had was about an hour long, and it had absolutely nothing to do with MWR Financial, had everything to do with ourselves, with our families, our children, our lives, our faith, our beliefs, our ministries, our backgrounds, where we grew up. We literally got to know each other in the course of that hour. And I learned very early on in that conversation just who Mr. House really is. And he is, without a doubt, a servant leader. You know, I've been around this industry for a very long time. I've met some remarkable people. But what struck me most when I had that conversation with him for the very first time was I could tell his heart. I could hear the compassion in his voice. I could hear how he had this desire to impact people's lives in a way that was really remarkable. And then when we had a second conversation a few days later and started talking about what MWR Financial really is, I knew there was something really special here. And Mr. House has said that God has blessed him more than he deserves. He's got 3 beautiful children, the woman of his dreams, good health, and a business that rewards him to be able to help others win in life. And that's what his mission is to help others win in life. And then Mr. Parker, the founder of Greater Vision Ministries. You know, when I met Gerald not that long ago, we had a really incredible conversation. God did some amazing things and brought us together. And when we got on the phone, it was like we had been friends forever and had just moved to different cities and different states and were reconnecting for the first time in a little while. And he has such a heart for a mission of helping the church, of helping God's people, helping pastors and ministers and church leaders bring financial stewardship back into their buildings in a way that maybe they've not approached it before or thought of it before. And Greater Vision is boldly, authentically, and excitedly expresses the good news on how a complete financial makeover system that you're going to be introduced to tonight has not only changed his life, but has changed the rest of his life for the better and the lives of the people that he loves. So as a child of God, it's his life's mission to empower God's people to take back their rightful place. So what is the mission by numbers? When we talk about statistics, and that's a lot of what we hear today. We hear it on social media, we hear it in the news, we hear it in conversations, maybe in the workplace or with the people that we love, is statistics. And what the mission is for MWR Financial is to help eliminate some of these statistics I'm about to share with you. We want to provide you with the same strategies that experts use and that the wealthy use to overcome financial challenges created by our tax, credit, banking, and educational systems. Now, why do I say educational systems? Well, because financial literacy really isn't taught in our educational systems today. It's not something that's included. And when you look at the numbers, it's staggering, and it's definitely something that's needed, but something that isn't afforded to people in schools today. So why? Why do we want to do this? Well, because 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 70% of Americans pay too much in taxes. 80% of Americans have credit challenges, and 90% of Americans are buried in debt. Those are some staggering statistics. Those numbers really are a gut punch, but this one was probably the biggest gut punch for myself. I know it is for Brother Gerald as well. As a result of those four things, 70% of individuals have less than $5,000 saved at the age of 65. And I just can't believe it. I was floored when I heard that for the very first time. And for me, being a pastor, I started thinking of other pastors, other ministers leading the church, leading the body of Christ. How many of them are retiring out of active ministry and fall into this category where they have less than $5,000 saved that they can put their hands on by the age of 65? And then I remember growing up in a little small town in Tennessee that I grew up in. We had this really incredible church, and this husband and wife, they had built the church from the ground up. The building that grew with their children, impacted the community. And by the time he retired out of active ministry, after 40 years of serving the church and the community, he decided to retire. And I went into Walmart one day, and there he was at the door as a greeter. And I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. But he needed a job to be able to help continue to support himself and his family, because they had not prepared for what retirement from ministry would look like. He was in this category. 70% having less than $5,000 saved at the age of 65 that they can put their hands on. And it doesn't have to be that way. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to talk about everything that you need to save, make, and grow your money. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to lower taxes, lower expenses, lower debts, lower interest, and we're going to increase your cash flow, credit scores, income, and investments. So let's talk about financial challenges that everyone faces today, and there are quite a few, and we're going to look at them by the numbers, right? 4 very staggering statistics I'm going to share with you outside of what we just took a look at. The first one is taxes. Look, there's one thing that's guaranteed in life, and we're going to pay taxes, right? And taxes are not new. When we talk about biblical principality, taxes is included in that. We read throughout the Bible consistently that taxes were a part of life, of what was going on. Matthew was a tax collector, one of Jesus's disciples. So when we talk about taxes, this isn't anything new, but this has become such a huge part of our income that it directly impacts us on a day-to-day basis. We give a third of our income to taxes: federal tax, state tax, local tax, property tax, sales tax, capital gains tax. The list goes on and on. Daily, you are impacted by taxes, whether you realize it or not. And to give away a third of your income is staggering when you really think about it. So let's take an average individual who's making $50,000 a year, and they're paying a third of that in taxes, which really means they're only taking home $32,000 a year, but they're still living a $50,000 a year lifestyle. So taxes are weighing us down and stripping away from us income that we have that could be used. Now, everybody has to still be responsible. We still have to pay our taxes. I pay mine. Our family pays ours. But there are ways to help lower the taxes that we pay, and we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But, Uncle Sam gets his due, right? When we talk about taxes and we talk about paying them, most people think of tax time, which we just got out of, and some people are still at the tail end of right now. And if you look here at the bottom of the screen, you see the red box around the refund line. Well, you're actually paying taxes to Uncle Sam, and that's an interest-free loan that you're giving to him. Whether you realize it or not, when you actually get a refund, you're just getting money back that you've given to Uncle Sam over the last year, and it's an interest-free loan that you've provided for him. So we want to help you stop overpaying taxes to the IRS, not stop paying taxes, but stop overpaying taxes. And there's a way that we're going to share with you here in just a little bit to talk about that. But why would you give somebody an interest-free loan? Think about it. Would I send somebody $250 a month that they put into a special account where they gain high interest rates, and then at the end of the year, they send that money back to me, but they don't send the interest back, they keep that from themselves? Why would you do that? Doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? So we want to help you stop overpaying taxes and giving Uncle Sam that interest-free loan. Line 75 right here says that if line 74 is more than line 63, subtract the two, and that's the amount you overpaid. Overpaid. It clearly says it in big, bold print. You have overpaid, right? So again, we want to help people pay what they're supposed to pay, but not overpay. After all, the thank you you get from Uncle Sam is your money back after he's made the interest on what you've given him for 12 months in a row. So why not just give what's actually owed and not overpaying and continuing to provide an interest-free loan? Let's take a look at some of the other financial challenges that we face. We've talked about taxes. Let's talk about credit. We acquire debt using credit to make up the difference from the taxes, a third of which we're paying each and every day. And we're actually giving another third of our income to the banks in the way of credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, student loans, mortgages. There's all different kinds that we're impacted by each and every day. And this is by design, right? So now we've given a third away to taxes. We're giving another third away to credit and debt. And let's talk about big business. A remaining third of what we have to cover living expenses goes to big business. This is gas. This is groceries. This is insurance. It's utilities. It's dining out. It's monthly holidays and events. And this is by design. When I think of big business and holidays and events, there is absolutely a plan to get us to spend more. Get us to spend more for things that we don't necessarily need, for purposes that don't really mean that much, for people that we necessarily don't even know that well. Think about it. We go into Halloween and it's trick-or-treating, right? It's candy and costumes and all kinds of outdoor decorations. And before that holiday is even over, we've moved into Thanksgiving and we're preparing for big meals with our families and friends. And before Thanksgiving's even over, Christmas stuff has hit the shelves big time. It's everywhere you go. You can't escape it. Trees and yard decorations and presents and wrapping and bows. And then before that's over, before we've even unwrapped the last present, Valentine's Day stuff has hit the store shelves. And before Valentine's Day is over and you've given out that last piece of candy to your friend at school or your sweetheart, well, you've got Easter stuff that's hit the shelves, getting ready to fill Easter baskets. It's all by design. Big business has taken another third of our living expenses. And then we have the silent killer, as we like to say, which is inflation. And we are experiencing this now more than ever for the first time in over 40 years. So now that our money is gone, third to taxes, third to credit and debt, third to big business, we still have to try and save and invest for retirement. Remember what we talked about just a little bit ago, right? That $5,000 that people over the age of 65 cannot put their hands on at the age of retirement. Well, we need to save and invest for retirement, but we're also trying to stay ahead. And the cost of goods and services is increasing faster than the living wages that we get paid. So at an all-time high in the last 40 years, inflation is now impacting us more than ever before. And when you look at this entire landscape, it can be overwhelming to think that this is how we live on a day-to-day basis. So which of these has been your greatest challenge? Is it taxes? Is it credit cards that you have to rely on to help pay for some of the living expenses, for the gas, for the groceries, for medical bills, maybe insurance, utilities, or you like to go out with your family from time to time? Well, all of those are increasing because of inflation as well, which means we're spending more, but not necessarily making more to be able to cover the difference. So how can we help? How can we help the church? How can we help the body of Christ? How can we help the members in your building? Well, help comes in a couple of different ways, and we're going to talk about that. So our partnership with MWR Financial provides members with a complete financial strategy that is totally based and rooted in biblical principles. Kingdom Builders, in conjunction with Greater Vision Ministries and partnering with MWR Financial, provides a realistic faith-based approach to achieve financial prosperity, something that is greatly needed in today's day and age with all those things that we just talked about. So let's talk about how we do that. How do we use MWR's platform and engage with it to help have a complete financial maker? Well, it starts with tax reduction, right? With our tax reduction service, you actually get unlimited financial advice on demand. Imagine being able to talk to a CPA, a CFP, or an EA, which are enrolled agents with the IRS 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We just went through that with tax time. Getting advice from qualified experts without having to pay a $200 to $300 per hour rate. And if you think that might be a high number, I can tell you that it's not. So when we had our taxes done, my wife Karen and I, this past tax season, I asked our CPA, I said, hey, Loretta, dear sweet Loretta, she was so kind to us this year in helping get everything done. I said, hey, Loretta, I'm just curious. If I come to you off the street and wanted to engage you for our services, what would you charge? What would you charge somebody per hour for your services? She's been doing this for over 40 years in family financial planning and family tax preparation. And she said, Dave, it's $250 per hour. I would charge $250 per hour. So imagine if it took her 10 hours to prepare your tax return, what's $2,500 that you would spend? We don't have to spend that here. You don't have to pay the $200 to $300 per hour, and it's unlimited consultation. So it's not every time I pick the phone up and call Loretta, I would pay the $250. It's unlimited, and you get answers to virtually any financial matter that you have. And we're going to help with a tax reduction so you're not overpaying your taxes, which gives you an instant pay raise to support you and your family. And when we first engaged with the platform, my wife and I went in, I put my information in, and I submitted it to the professionals. And same day, less than an hour, I got a response back from them on a tax reduction strategy. And with one simple change that I made to my W-4, we were able to put $240 a month back in our pocket. That's how quick and how instant it was. So when we say instant pay raise and tax reduction through a simple strategy, that's what it could mean for you. Then we have automated mileage and expense tracking. We'll review your last 3 years of tax returns to see if there's anything that might have been missed that could be of benefit to you, that you might be able to actually change and get corrected and get some money back off those returns. And then what was awesome was when we made the tax reduction strategy and instant pay raise for ourselves that gave us $240 a month back, they actually gave me a W-4 that was already adjusted that I just handed over to my employer to be able to help us out. And all I did was make a phone call and submit some information through the platform. So tax reduction is huge. It's unlimited consultations, and you're not paying the $200 to $300 per hour that you're seeing on the screen. Romans 13:6-8 tells us, for because of this, you also pay taxes, for they are God's ministers attending continually to this very thing. Render therefore to all their due, taxes to whom taxes are due, customs to whom customs, fear to whom fear, honor to whom fear. So we know that taxes have been around for a very long time. We can look throughout the Bible and see the reference to taxes being paid and what is due being taken care of. So what we want to do is help reduce those taxes, provide an instant pay raise, and put some more money in your pocket. Let's talk about credit restoration. It's very big right now. With our credit restoration strategies, we want to help raise your credit scores. We want to lower interest rates, lower down payments, and lower insurance premiums by raising those credit scores. So a higher credit score can actually impact what you pay right now for your insurance, for down payments that you might put on things, or interest rates that you're paying on certain loans that you might have. So our credit restoration strategy works in 3 different ways. We want to help you raise your credit score possibly 50 to 100 points or more. Some people have had it even more. And when I submitted for this, I thought, you know what? We've got a really good handle on our finances. And I think I've been pretty good over the last couple of years of maintaining what impacts my credit report. And I was shocked to learn that we could actually raise my score another 100 points. That was huge, another 100 points. Strategy 2 is credit rebuilding, right? Rent reporting, installment, revolving accounts, and then identity theft correction. This is huge. So my wife, Karen, and I had a service we've been a part of for years that we have been paying for identity theft protection. And when I engaged in our platform here with MWR, when I put all my information in, within minutes, I got a report that my data was sitting on 14 dark websites on the internet. I was floored. I couldn't believe it. 14 different websites. So I went in and with the click of a button, I asked for that to be corrected, for that to be stopped, and for that information to be pulled down. Within an hour, I got a response, and it had already started to happen. The platform had already started going to work for me, and it already removed a couple of my pieces of information from some of those websites. I couldn't believe it. So we have a strategy in place to help you, because this is going to directly impact some of those things we talked about. Insurance premiums. Imagine raising your credit score and then paying lower insurance premiums. Proverbs 22:1 tells us that a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. A good name is what we have to stand on. My father used to always tell me that my name was worth its weight in gold, and that's what I stood on, was my name, my word, right? And Proverbs 22:1 tells us that our good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. So we want to help restore your good name and restore your credit score and improve upon it to help lower some of these things and put some more money back into your pocket. This is one of my favorite aspects of what we have to offer with MWR Financial. Bill Shredder. Imagine having professional negotiators reduce payments for you on your cell phone bill, your internet bill, your cable or satellite bill, utility bills in some states, lawn care, pest control. These are all things that our experts can help you with. When we first became a part of the platform and submitted our bills, again, we thought, you know what, we have a pretty good handle on our expenses. I think we do a pretty good job of maintaining some of the things that we spend money on each and every month. So we were shocked to get back that they were saving us $60 on our cell phone bill. $60 on our cell phone bill. We couldn't believe it. $20 on our home internet bill, and $15 a month on our home security bill. That all added up quickly. I mean, $60 on a cell phone bill, well, 60 times 12 is $720 a year. I couldn't believe it. Proverbs 22:7 tells us that the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is a servant to the lender. We don't have to be a servant to the lender anymore. Our professionals will negotiate these rates for you, and they go to work on your behalf. The only thing that you have to do is submit a clean copy of the bill directly through the platform. That's all I did when we originally engaged in the platform. Just submitted a clean PDF straight through the platform on the internet, and they went to work for me. And we kept the same plan, the same provider. We didn't change cell phone services. It was still T-Mobile. We were just paying $60 less than what we were paying before. And when that negotiated period ended, when that 12-month period was up, I got an email saying, hey, Dave, you know what? We're going to go back to work for you and see if we can negotiate another savings. And I didn't have to do a thing. I didn't have to make a phone call. I didn't have to engage any conversation. They went to work for me on my behalf and actually secured us another negotiated rate less than what we were paying. So this is a great way to be able to save money, to lower some of the expenses, and think about it from a church perspective. So pastors, ministers, church leaders, this applies to you too, not just to your members in the body. So imagine being able to save on your cell phone plan that you have for your staff at the church, or imagine being able to save on waste management service that you might have, or pest control, or lawn care control and preventative services, or water delivery services, or the Muzak that you have playing as people come into the church, or your satellite service that you have for beaming it out across the internet for people to be able to watch on a Sunday morning. Those are all things that can be negotiated for you. And oftentimes business savings can actually be greater than personal savings. So that's money that's coming back to the church that you can reinvest into your ministries, into your programs, into your outreaches. You know, things have suffered over the last couple of years from a church perspective. Children's ministry, youth ministry, couples ministry, outreaches into the community, supporting missions across the globe are all things that have been impacted. And here's a great way to be able to save some money and reinvest back into those services and re-engage back into the community. Let's talk about our debt elimination strategy. You know, this is very important and something I think sometimes people don't really take to heart. We want to help eliminate interest by getting out of debt faster, but you're going to keep the same job, keep your same income, keep your same budget, pay off all your debts in record time, and monthly statements will tell you exactly what to do. Our experts are going to go to work for you and help you create a strategy that will get you out of debt faster than maybe what you're currently trying to get out of right now. So let me give you a great example of what this looks like. So for an average American family, a creditor's plan has a principal balance on it of about $209,000, right? $209,731.04. Now, that plan includes a lot of things. It includes maybe a car loan, a mortgage. Now, remember, we talked earlier about reducing taxes, right? So if you're making $50,000 a year, but you're spending a third of that in taxes, you're still living the $50,000 lifestyle. You're going out and getting a mortgage on $50,000 a year, but you're already a third of that out before you even make your first mortgage payment. So that $209,000 you see on the screen actually represents a lot of things, right? It represents cars, mortgages, credit cards, loans, student loans, personal loans. Your monthly expenses in this example total $2,985. Well, it's going to take you 29 years to pay that off. And in that 29-year period, you're also going to spend $233,000 more in interest on all of those things that we talked about: cars, credit cards, houses, mortgage. But with our tax and debt elimination strategy, still the same, right? So $209,000, your monthly expenses are still the same, $2,985. But the time in debt is now shortened because our experts have gone to work with you. They've put together a plan in place, and you can actually get out of that debt. The same $209,000, the same $2,985 a month in 7 years and 11 months. And you're only paying an additional $73,515 in interest. Now, I don't know about you, but the time savings between the two that you're seeing on the screen is 21 years and a month. That's one of our children growing up. You know, Karen and I have been blessed with 6 amazing, incredible children. And that's like watching one of them grow up from the time they're born to the time they're out of school and out on their own, doing their own thing. When you think about it that way, it puts a different lens on it. And the interest saved is almost $160,000. What could you do with an extra $160,000? What would that mean to you? What could happen? And, you know, church leaders, pastors, ministers, I want you to think about who in your church is represented on this slide. How many individuals or families are being impacted on this slide? We talked earlier about marriages being in jeopardy right now. And we know that the number one thing that breaks marriages apart is finances. So imagine being able to create a debt elimination strategy that saves you 21 years on your life, saves you $160,000, and then creates $2,900 in cash flow for you that you can then reinvest back into yourself and your family. Well, how do you do that? Well, that's another part of the platform is wealth accumulation and wealth generation strategies. So we're going to take a look at exactly what we amassed before, right? So our wealth accumulation experts are going to help you. We're going to turn your tax credit and debt savings into wealth for you, your family, your children, and your children's children, because the Bible tells us, Proverbs 13:22 tells us, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of a sinner is stored up for the right. So your children's children, your grandchildren we're talking about. So let's take a look at what we just saved. We're going to take the tax savings, we're going to take the credit restoration savings, the debt elimination savings, and we're going to reinvest that for you. So the average tax savings right now, the instant pay raise that you get is $300 to $600 a month. The average credit savings for credit restoration is $300 a month, and the average debt savings and debt elimination is $2,985. So if we add all that together, that's $3,500 a month. Well, if we look at that at 3%, 6%, or 12% over a 10, 20, or 30-year period, that adds up really, really quickly. And I don't know about you, but if I look at a 6% in a 20-year period, that's $1.6 million. What would that mean for you? What would that mean for your children's children? What would that mean for your church, for your ministry, for the community that you're trying to impact with outreaches? That's an incredible amount to be able to reinvest back into yourself, into your family, into your communities. Savings above are based on the average household income. And this is an example only that we're sharing. And past performance does not guarantee future results. But when you look at this and you think about all those things we talked about, instant pay raise, credit restoration, debt elimination, and what this could mean for you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's really incredible to think about. It's all achievable. It's absolutely all achievable. So how do we do that? How do we actually engage in the platform? What does it cost? And what does that mean to you as an individual, to your family, and more importantly, to the church? for church leaders. Well, if you look at the services that we offer, the strategists and experts that we're going to do all the work for you, you're going to plug into the platform and we're going to let the experts go to work for us. They're going to help with tax reduction. They're going to help with credit restoration. They're going to help with debt elimination. They're going to help with wealth accumulation. And they're going to help lower some of those bills. And if you think about it, our CPA, my wife and I, charges $250 an hour. If we engaged her, each of us, for 1 hour apiece in these 5 services, again, that's 10 hours. That's $2,500. And that's just for one instance. Well, with our platform and MWR, you get to do that all the time. It's unlimited that you have access to these services and to these professionals. So don't take chances with your finances. Get the Financial Edge membership. It's only $79.97 a month, and that includes your spouse. So that's you and your spouse. And I can tell you that from a church perspective, my decades in ministry, that financial programs like this don't exist. Done our homework, right? And I've been around a lot of different churches that have employed a lot of different financial strategies or financial programs, some that cost thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. And sometimes you have to have members in the church who are certified to be able to manage those programs on a month-to-month basis. Well, this gives you access to all of these tools for you and your spouse for $79.97 a month. It's an incredible value. Now, this past weekend, we had an event down in Atlanta. It was the year of transformation as we looked at 2022. And I want to recap for you a little bit because we're adding some things into the platform that are going to greatly enhance the experience that we're already greatly having. So we unveiled a new service with our Hurdler app that's included in the tax reduction strategy. And it's now integrated with MWR tax experts. So what that means for you is you're actually going to be able to get your taxes done now through the platform. And it's going to be included in your actual membership. So you can have an individual return, a joint return, or if you have a business, an LLC with one Schedule C, you can have that done for you as well, all inclusive in your membership. You don't have to pay somebody to do that for you. It's all going to be included with the CPAs, the CFPs, and EAs that we have now unlimited access to through the platform. And it's all tracked through the Hurdler app. So all those expenses that are being logged, all your mileage that's being logged for business purposes is now being recorded through the app and is passed on at tax time to our tax experts, the CPAs, the CFPs, and the EAs, who are going to prepare that return for you and give it back to you to send to the IRS. And again, it's all included in the membership. We're also adding payroll services. So imagine needing to hire your spouse or one of your children or a couple of your children to help in your business. Well, instead of going out and having a service manage that for you, which currently runs about $300 per pay period, you'll have access through ADP, a very well-known global company, for $49.95 a month. And there's some tax advantages that are associated with that, which you can talk to one of our CPAs about through our tax advantage program. So tax savings on payroll services now becomes another potential and possible way for you to save money, putting money back into your pocket. We also added insurance negotiation to bill shredder. So imagine being able to have your auto insurance negotiated for you. I don't know about you, but oftentimes as I see commercials on TV, I think, wow, are we really getting the best rate for our auto insurance? Or is there something that is better for us? Maybe better coverage and a less expense? I don't know, but I don't have time to call all these different companies or go on the internet and try and search it all out. Well, the bill negotiators will do that for you with bill shredder. And we're also adding community solar as well. Imagine being able to tie in to a solar energy bank in your community that gives you rebates back onto your energy bill each and every month. So you're actually saving on the energy that you're expending out in your household. That'll come live on May 14th, insurance negotiation and community solar coming soon. So once again, when we look at everything that we offer, all 5 of these strategies for you and your spouse, it's only $79.97, which is a tremendous value. And we're making it better by some of the things that we talked about this past weekend in Atlanta that I just shared with you, and we're adding into the platform. So what does that mean for the church? So how can we help the church? Understanding to whom much is given, much is required. And the putting more money in good people's hands allows them to do good things with it in an effort to further the kingdom of God. Our partnership provides the church with a proven financial stewardship platform that will allow the church to increase passive residual income to fund its kingdom mission. So all those things we talked about, marriage ministry, children's ministry, youth ministry, community outreach programs. In fact, some churches have actually turned this into a ministry and sharing financial literacy with people who are about to retire, or young college-age kids who are coming out of school, getting ready to go into the workforce, trying to set them up for success with financial literacy and plugging into the platform. These are all ways that we can help you and the church reach your membership and reach the community. So what does that mean? What are the advantages? Well, first, we're going to connect the church to the financial stewardship and financial literacy program that MWR offers. Then we're going to allow your members to access the program through the church. Then the church becomes the financial benefactor from the members' participation. So the church is going to benefit off of the members that enroll and use the monthly service. Now, we talked about those financial programs that churches have tried to employ for decades, and I don't know too many of them that, if any of them at all, that actually pay you back when members continue to pay their monthly membership month after month after month. And finally, with this new stream of income, the church now has the ability to fund various outreaches, all those things we talked about, your building funds, coming back out of one of the most challenging periods we faced over the last couple of years. We have a way to be able to invest back into the building funds and complete its assignment as it relates to advancing God's kingdom, right? We're here to make disciples of all people everywhere. And here's a great way to be able to re-spark that if it's been lost inside of your buildings, or grow what's already been burning there for a while. So let's look at an example just based on one of our principles with the tax advantage strategy of a tithing increase through the MWR membership and the Financial Edge program, and how that can impact your church. So let's say the church has 100 members. We're just using this as an example. And that 50% of those members engage and get a membership with the platform. Well, with an average of $400 a month in savings, right? We're just talking about the tax strategy. We're not talking about credit restoration or debt elimination or bill negotiation. We're just talking about tax strategy. And let's say it's $400, because we know that it's between $300 and $600 that the average person can save with that strategy. So with an average saving of $400 a month, that's $400 increase that an individual or a family is putting back into their pocket. Well, that could mean a tax savings of $20,000 monthly among those 50 members. Remember, 50% of the 100 members, 50 members, saving $400 a month is $20,000 a month. So what does that mean for you? Well, if we all abide by the 10% that we're supposed to tithe to our ministries and our churches, that's a $2,000 increase in tithing from only 50 members in the church. And that's just with the one strategy, right? The tax reduction strategy. So what could you do with an extra $2,000? Which one of those ministries that we just got done talking about could you pour into? Or maybe multiple ministries that you could pour into: your community outreach, your children, your youth, your family. Those are all things that could benefit from just this one aspect. Now, let's talk about the power of partnership. And how does the church continue to benefit and continue to earn an income to increase its reach in the community, to increase what it pours into these different aspects of the ministry? Well, let's say again, the church has 100 members, and 50% of those partner with the MWR membership at $79.97. That pays the church $2,000. So as the church enrolls and becomes a member, their members enroll underneath them in the membership, and that's going to pay $40 as a referral to the church for every single member that comes on board. If we're talking about 50, again, that's $40 times 50, which is $2,000. Then the church receives an additional $10 a month in residual income. So 50 times 10 is $500 monthly that you're getting on top of the $2,000 that you're also getting in addition to the other $2,000 that we talked on the left-hand side of the screen from the tax reduction strategy. And if those 50 members go out and refer it to 3 members apiece, that's 150 referrals times 40. That's an additional $6,000. There's over $10,000 that's represented on this slide. What could your church do with the $10,000? What kind of impact could you drive in the body of Christ with an additional $10,000? What would that mean for your community? How could you reach children in the community, families in the community, discipleship, missions across the world that you want to support? Could all be achieved through what we're talking about here tonight. So what does it cost to get enrolled? What is the expense that's involved? So when you look at what we can provide, it's $129.97 to get started. Forget the $228.97 that you see crossed out on the screen there, because Mr. Brian House, again, being a servant leader, has gone to work and actually lowered the cost that it is to get involved with the platform. So no more is the $228.97. Right now, today, it's $129.97. If you look at the Financial Edge membership that we talked about earlier, that's $79.97 a month. That includes all of those different services. And there's a way that you can actually get that for free. So as the church expands out and members start to enroll, the first 3 members that enroll actually earn you a credit. So you're no longer paying the $79.97 a month. MWR is going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to cover that for you. So no longer does it cost you $119.97 a month to manage and maintain the platform. It's now only $40 a month. And that $40 a month gives you some amazing tools. It gives you an incredible website that you have that you can send people to get the knowledge they need to make an informed decision about how this amazing platform can impact themselves and their families. Marketing tools to be able to share across your membership into the body of Christ, into your communities, to bring people back into your building, to maybe start a new financial literacy ministry. Those tools and resources are all included in that $40 a month for you as well. And then management of the membership. So you'll know exactly who's involved, exactly what is going on inside the community with the platform, all included again for the $40 a month. So as your first 3 members in the church enroll, your membership becomes free. The $79.97 goes away, and that makes it only $40 a month right now to maintain a business. And I don't know about you, but I don't know too many other financial platforms out there right now that are doing what we're doing with MWR Financial for $40 a month. It's just unheard of. It doesn't exist. In all my years, I haven't seen anything like this come to the body of Christ to be such a valuable asset and impact lives directly, both locally and globally. And MWR gives the church the same opportunity as the body, right? So not only are you going to get your membership for free, but the body could also get theirs for free. So if they refer 3 people, their membership becomes free as well, just like it does for the church. So we've got some incredible tools and resources that we're giving to you at your disposal. We're giving you an incredible platform to engage in, all for an incredible price of $79.97 a month. Everything you need to succeed is right here, all included for you. Thank you to Mr. Brian House and MWR Financial. Speaking of Mr. Brian House, again, he said, you know, it's not our intent to use God to build this business. However, it is our intent to use this business to further the kingdom. And I like to think back to that initial conversation I had with him and how we talked about what we believed in, what our mission was, what we felt God had called us to do. And I could tell that he was really digging in deep, and the compassion, you just hear it in his voice. He really wants to help make a difference in people's lives, and he wants to help the church have a greater reach across their community and across the world. And this is just a perfect example of it. He wants to use the business to further the kingdom of God. And one of the ways that he wants to do that is by providing a 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. He wants to help guarantee the success of you, your body, and the community. And I don't know too many financial companies out there that offer this type of guarantee, right? They want to take your money. They don't necessarily want to return it if things don't work out well. So what Mr. Brian House has said is, if you take advantage of everything that we have to offer, and our experts, our strategies, and the opportunity are not able to help you save, make, and grow more money in your first 30 days, MWR Financial will give you a full 100% refund. So what does that mean for you? That means that for the first 30 days, there's no risk and no obligation. That you can test drive the platform for a full 30 days. And if it doesn't work for you, if you take advantage of everything that MWR is bringing to the table, everything they're offering you, the experts, the strategies, the opportunity, and you can't save, make, or grow money, they'll refund you back 100% of your investment. It's unheard of. I don't know of any other program out there that provides that for the church, that provides that for the members, that provides that for the body or the community. It's unheard of. So what an incredible opportunity to have no risk, no obligation for the first 30 days to see what happens when you engage in these strategies. What can happen from a simple tax reduction and an instant pay raise? What can happen from raising your credit score 50 points, 75 points, 100 points or more? What would that mean for you? Being able to put together a debt elimination strategy that can directly impact you or your family. You only lose by not trying. That's really what it comes down to. The great Dale Johnson says, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And we have the opportunity to make some great impactful change, starting with ourselves, our families, the church, and the community. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up and see if we have any questions that we could answer.
Pastor Schmall, at this time, one of the main questions that generally comes up is the question with regards to the 501c participation.
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Martina. So, it's a question that pops up a lot. We do often get asked, what if we're a 501c3, right? What if the church is a 501c3, which is a great question. And again, I'm not a tax expert, but we have access to them. So I encourage you to talk to the CPAs, the CFPs, and the EAs that we have access to through the platform. But if you are a 501c3, then what you could do to make sure that you preserve that status is just start the business with the pastor or maybe the pastor's wife, have them enroll, have them start the business, and then enroll the body underneath them. And then they in turn take the revenue, the income that's generated on a monthly basis, and donate it back to the church so that it now becomes a tax advantage for them. And then it also gets back to the church to be able to impact the community and continue to drive those ministries that are happening each and every month. What else do we have? Anybody else?
Well, currently, I'm not seeing any other questions coming into the comments. Guys, you are available to post those questions in the comments, and Pastor Schmall will be able to answer those. You did an absolutely amazing job on tonight. We greatly appreciate your perspective and you filling in and stepping in to the shoes for Gerald while he takes a little bit of time away. Do you want me to go ahead and introduce the corporate events while we wait for questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okie dokie. Awesome. Let me pull that onto the screen. So giving you guys a little bit of information about our upcoming calls for the week. Our corporate call is normally for the Financial Edge University, hosted by our very own Gerald R. Banks on Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m., financialedgelive.com, financialedgelive.com. And if you're interested in hearing more directly from corporate leadership, there is a recap video that is available at facebook.com/MWR Financial /videos, where you guys can go and see the corporate call from this past Tuesday night, where we met at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we had a really good time going through a lot of the great services that you heard Pastor Schmall mention a little bit earlier, as well as our weekly team calls each and every Monday night while leadership is on break. We have a takeover call for Monday night. Kingdom Builders host monday.mwrkingdombuilders.com at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our very own Gerald W. Parker and his co-host Benjamin McCray. On Tuesday nights, they bring it right back in our 90-day Race to Freedom, Tuesday.MWR Kingdom Builders, again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is on the Zoom platform, Tuesday.MWR Kingdom Builders. And there's business launches that happen on that night, training, tips, and more. So you don't want to miss that if you want to be in a more intimate setting to get your questions answered. Wednesday nights, Wednesday.MWRKingdomBuilders.com. We open this platform up to anyone to invite to hear a complete business overview from the Kingdom Builders perspective, as well as we get questions answered directly on the end of that call as well. And we also have business launches if we have other partners who are interested in launching their business with the rest of us in Kingdom Builders on that night. And then again, we come on back Friday night. And next Friday night, we will have Pastor Schmall returning with Gerald W. Parker here on the platform, 8:30 Friday, MWR Kingdom Builders, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, guys, pay attention to the next one. We are blitzing this weekend. So Saturday morning, we jumpstart the weekend blitz at 11 a.m. with Executive District Director Benjamin McCray, Executive Regional Director, and we're going by these titles for now, but when you get in, you'll understand we have entirely new titles, entirely new ranks, and an entirely new compensation plan. So hopefully they will go over a little bit of that, but 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and again on Sunday at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. We will be blitzing all weekend, giving you all of this good information on blitz.mwrkingdombuilders.com. Each and every first Sunday, we are live at 7 p.m. at sunday.mwrkingdombuilders.com. So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, we will be live with Kingdom Plans from Kingdom Builders. So that's what we have in the way of giving you those weekly announcements. That's all I have. Do you have anything else, Pastor Schmall?
Just 2 quick questions I saw pop up in the chat.
Great.
Can pastors sign up in the program? Absolutely, 100%. Is it only available outside the U.S.? It's only available in the U.S. So right now, currently, the program and the platform is only available here inside the United States. And then can the church offer this program to others that are not members of the church? Absolutely. It's one of those great things we talked about, right? Imagine being able to create a ministry around financial literacy through this platform in your community. So bringing in, people getting close to retire, college-age kids who are graduating, high school kids who are about to graduate and go into college. These are just some of the examples of some things that churches have done already to help spread the platform right into the community and provide financial literacy. So absolutely, you can reach out into the community. They don't have to be a member of the church to become a part of the platform, but they can enroll directly through your church.
And thank you for that. I will correct myself. Thank you so much, Mr. Parker. It is the Sunday Kingdom Plans. We'll be meeting this Sunday at 7 p.m. I got my Sundays all mixed up. We will be meeting this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at sunday.mwrkingdombuilders.com.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Brother Gerald, we miss you and love you greatly. We'll look forward to having you back on soon. And be blessed, everyone. Have an amazing weekend. God be with each and every one of you.
This has been a life-changing experience here at the MWR 2022 Transformation event. This company is freaking amazing.
It is super important to come to events like this with Make Wealth Real Financial, because this is where your business is built, right? The momentum, the atmosphere, the synergy, the alignment, all of the things that you need to do starts at events like this.
Let me tell you something. This weekend has been fabulous. I saw so many people getting their lives changed, learning, growing, learning about finances, learning how to grow their business.
Just today, in a few hours, we squeezed in more at a live event that we could ever do online or on a Zoom.
And if you are not a part of this organization, you need to be, because we are changing people's lives. When you talk about closing the wealth gap, this is the company that does that.
I'm super excited about this event. It is life-changing. It is so electrifying here, and I wish you all were here.
So ladies and gentlemen, Make Wealth Real Financial literally helps you make wealth real, and it starts with events like this.